Coming up in today's video, guys, we've got some rock solid, hard as nails earwax plugs for us to remove as well. My name is Rhys, Barber. I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates. So this first patient feeling really blocked up, lots of itching going on inside their ear canals and quite uncomfortable as well when they lay on their ear. And you can see why this wax plug is absolutely rock solid. And you can see I've got the suction tube on here. It's not really budging, this plug at all. Now, a lot of people ask you why the different consistencies. Now, sometimes it can be down to your genetics, or basically some people produce a very hard wax, some produce a very soft wax, but the other time it can be affected, or the consistency can be affected if somebody's had wax in their ear for a long time. It does tend to dry out quite a bit then. So we're using the St. Bart's hook in here, and the reason I'm going for that is we've got this sort of central depression right in the middle of this wax. Now, I don't think this is Q-tip use. Sometimes that can be an indication of Q-tips being used, or cotton buds here in the UK. But what we've got, I think, is just as it's formed around the canal wall, you can see that thick, dead skin layer there underneath. And as I'm pulling this out, that layer is holding on. You can see that little tail going back in there. And I think what's happened here, it's just dried out. There's not enough oil in this patient's ear canal, or they're not producing enough natural oils to keep the wax lovely and soft. My advice to this patient moving forwards would be to use some olive oil on a regular basis. They recommend now about once a fortnight. We used to say about once a month, but they say now about once a fortnight, just a couple of drops in each ear, and that's going to keep that ear canal wall skin lovely and moisturized. It's also going to keep any newly formed wax lovely and soft. So we're just removing this next section, and we can see here we've got this really hard wax plug surrounded by this thick keratin dead skin layer there. I'm trying to reposition it with the suction tube. The difficulty when you have hard wax plugs like this, it's really difficult to get a fantastic grip with the suction. And when we get it to the outer portion of the ear canal here, it's got wedged. We can't get it through, and we can't really get a fantastic suction grip here. I'm just trying to work on that thicker, soft skin layer at the top. See if I can fold this plug forwards. But it's not really coming away. It's properly wedged in there. Am I going to be able to get it through? No, I've created a gap though, so we're going to bring the St. Bart's hook back in now. Perfect tool for this type of wax. This really hard wax where you've got a little gap around it, or a gap big enough to get the end of the tool through. But look at that chunky old plug there. Out that comes. And you can see that sort of mottled. See how that skin is not that lovely fleshy pink color. It's this kind of mixture of whites and pinks, that kind of mottled appearance. Usually a really good indication the patient suffers with some dry skin in there as well. We've got exactly the same problem on this side. Bless them, the patient had been putting some oil in, but this wax was just so hard that oil couldn't penetrate into the surface. We haven't got such a big gap here, so I've gone in with a Rosen inserter on this one. This is Taylor Green's favorite tool. He should be gracing our screens again real soon, guys. I know we got a session towards the end of this week, so fingers crossed. You'll see a few more videos with Taylor coming up soon as well. But we've got this really kind of crumbly nature to this wax now. It's so dry, it's almost gone really brittle. Same problem here. We've got this thick layer, but we've got this lovely hole in the middle. So watch this now. We're just able to get through with the St. Bart's hook and pull this forwards. Look at all that dead skin underneath there, which was holding all of this in. But a lovely size plug, that one, as that came out, and it came out so nicely. Look at that. Perfect looking eardrum beyond. So this is what we removed, 3 centimeters, just over an inch worth of wax. If you do enjoy the rock solid earwax removals, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to pop a card up into the corner up there. That's a really good one, which is actually a mixture of rock solid earwax and skin ribbon. So if you like both of those, make sure you check on that card. Now this is the second patient. What we've got here is a very similar story to the first one here. A really big, chunky old plug in this one as well. It's a nice soft surface here, so not quite as dried out as the first patient's wax. They have been using some oil. It's penetrated just into that surface layer of wax here, which has just managed to soften it up. But we have this issue with a little bit of dry skin around the outside edge. There's a flap of it right at the bottom of the screen. Just trying to look for a different position here, holding on to that top section of wax and just starting to bring this down the canal. A little bit of a wiggle needed here just to kind of coax it, tease it if you want down the canal. There we go. Now we've got a bit of movement. Is this going to stay together? Are we going to stay as one big old plug? Let's have a little look here. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. And you can look at the color gradient all the way through that little bit of cream dead skin at the base of the canal there. And we've got this last bit. Now this actually turned out to be an all problematic bit to get out. Now I thought, easy, lovely little anterior recess here. We'll be able to get this one out really easily. This little bit of wax is rock solid. This is going to fly up to the suction tube. It did not want to come out because underneath this, we talked about the grey skin. Look at the eardrum skin. See how mottled that is, that kind of ripply almost surface on there. So basically what has happened here is we've got a lot of dead skin. It's migrated off, or some of it's migrated off the eardrum there with that epithelial migration, but it's actually dried, and this wax plug is hardened onto a piece of that dry skin. So as I'm trying to pull this, it doesn't want to come away. There you go. If you look to the top left corner of that plug, you'll see that bit of skin that was holding it in. There you go, you can see it there really clearly. So I popped a bit of olive oil, it does help to remove that, but eardrum looking a lot better on that side, really nice and healthy. And with this one now, you can see soft surface exactly as we had on the other side. So this really kind of softened up surface here where the patient's been using some wax softeners. Let's get this little piece away here. When you look at the plug, what you'll see is a little white outline around the outside. It's kind of almost connected. You can see it to the right-hand side of that plug there. And that's those dry bits of skin, that white, creamy kind of layer you could see wrapping around that plug. And that's what's anchoring this into place. So we're trying to get a grip here. Always a little bit more difficult when they're that sort of a little bit softer. When you've got harder plugs, you can kind of move it from side to side, and it helps to detach that kind of adherence around the canal, around the outside edge. When they're softer plugs, when you try and move them from side to side, what you're effectively doing is moving the surface layer from side to side. Because it's so soft, you're not really getting a really good movement to the actual plug itself. But we're chipping away, we're getting there slowly. What's happening is, as I'm taking the central section away, the sides are kind of collapsing into the middle, which helps us to get a better grip. We've got a bit of a lift there, which is good. And we've got a slightly harder piece right at the bottom. So I'm gonna see if we can exploit that. You can see a lot of movement there. We're wiggling away and sort of circling this plug, just attaching it. There we go, we've got a bit of movement. Is this going to come up? Well, look at that, a lovely chunky plug again on that one. I do love the big old plugs that come away. So we're just tidying up the outside edge. There we go, just hoovering some bits and pieces up here. There we go. You can see that mottled appearance and where the wax was actually touching that eardrum as well. So 2.5 centimeters, just over 1 inch as well. Guys, if you do enjoy rock solid plugs, there was a really popular video we put up which shows really, really hard plugs. So I'm going to put that, probably there, I'd imagine. To make sure you check that one out for me as well. But thanks again for watching our videos. I forgot to say, if you do enjoy the videos, guys, don't forget to like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for me. That would be fantastic. And if you have ear problems yourself, make sure you check out the link tree in the description across all the channels that you're watching this on. That will get you through to our website. You can actually reserve an appointment online now on our website with myself or the lovely, splendiferous Mr. Taylor Green. Well, thank you so much, guys. Like I said, we should be back with Taylor Green really soon. Yeah, thanks for watching the video. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.